this, you cool with Hype being like a recording judge?
Who's the owner of the server, by the way?
Hype or Monkey King,
That's just
one
a
or the other.
recording judge too. So unless you want 4 niggas judging.
All right, it's
Bro,
the recording.
I told you we were cool. We could have done like one.
Y'all
So
just
like
want me to record, and then y'all want Pound Town and whoever else to be judge.
I mean, I
Yeah,
already told Jester he's judging. So
Oh,
yeah,
Jester.
Hype.
Wait,
so Deadboy.
I swear I just saw
Moki,
Jester
Aki.
online. I'm gonna fucking get his ass in here. Where's
Aki,
he
you
at?
Deadboy, you have your
agree
like.
with Aki, you agree with
Little
Jester
bitch-ass
and
plans, fucking.
Yeah, I'm cool with Jester and Pound Town judging, but like
Alright. Then
Deadboy.
I'll just like keep the
You cool
recording
with, like-
going, and then I'll mute and deafen, and then like I'll like just play on my phone, and then like y'all can like debate, and then just like text me whenever like y'all get done, and then like I'll stop the
Don't
recording.
deafen because then it'll like deafen the recording as well.
Oh no, I won't deafen. I'll just mute then.
Alright, so Deadboy, before we start, like you cool with Scoop being my recording judge or Monkey King? One or the other. It doesn't really matter.
I'd rather
Since we have
Hype.
Victor too.
I'd rather Hype.
Hype? Alright.
Yeah, I'd rather Hype. I don't think. Yeah.
Alright. So why do you think you won?
Because a prerequisite was like set in a debate, and I think you crossed it. So I think I won.
I disagree. This wasn't like much of a prerequisite. It was more of like a preference. You said I'm not debating any of you rats or you trolls and you or Hime goons. And you didn't actually give like specification to that. So when you decide to say, oh, I'm going to rat, and you said you were going to quote unquote rat because I was quote unquote ratting, I believe like you violated your own prerequisite because you haven't fulfilled the burden you placed upon yourself, saying that I ratted first. Reaper, mute yourself, dude. Can somebody mute Reaper?
All right. So Aki.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I have these kids like always on mute because they're just
I
trolls,
thought I
bro.
muted.
You gotta
I am
mute the
so
trolls.
sorry.
Like,
I thought
wasn't
I actually muted. I'm sorry.
Point is like contradictory, so I'm not gonna call it a shotgun, but I'm saying could you stay on task and make a coherent point? Because initially you argued I didn't make a prerequisite, but then within the same sentence you said I did. So I'll just be better for me and go off and attack the argument that I didn't make a prerequisite. You said that I would have violated my own shit, right? By the time I'm going to rat, I'm saying you ratted first, right? So you already would have broke it. That's when the debate would have ended. Then I said after that, anything that would have said happened after that would not still be in the debate. So I think it's easier for you to argue that what ratting is, other than trying to say it wasn't a prerequisite, because you just conceded to me that it was a prerequisite in the debate.
I didn't.
That's literally what
you
just
conceded. So what I did was I just made a hypothetical situation. I told you if this prerequisite was made, then you would have violated your own prerequisite, which would have resulted in a concession upon your behalf. I'm saying you said I ratted, okay? And you couldn't prove that I ratted. I told you to prove that I ratted like a good 3 times in that debate.
What are you arguing now? What is your argument now?
I'm saying that if you made this quote unquote prerequisite, first thing you would have lost. Second thing you would have lost after you made this, even if it wasn't made in general.
Okay, so we're gonna go off stuff that happened that same day too. So that's already agreed upon that happened that same day.
What do you mean?
Okay, so I'm not sure if you remember or not. I don't like to go off the memory game. When I told Forco to like repeat what I said, he said and Hype said, yes, that is a prerequisite, right? They both agreed to that, right? You hold on, Aki. You didn't have a problem with that, right? If we're going off shit that happened, you had a problem with me not defining what the ratting is, right? I'm going off shit that already happened, right? So
I'm so lost in the context of this.
Based off what you said, right, and based off what 3 others said that we used for proof, and that you didn't denounce them for proof, yes, a prerequisite was set, right? I'm gonna explain exactly what I said. I said I'm not going to debate any rats, no trolls, no Orihime shit. Don't even come up here if you're going to do that. It's a loss. I'm not going for none of that shit. I'm not doing that shit. We're not doing that shit here, right? I said we're gonna keep this gauntlet straight. I actually says I'm gonna just go on to the next person if you come up here and rat. That implies Aki, because I remember me saying that we're just gonna move you down and we're gonna go to the next person. That implies when in a gauntlet, right? In a gauntlet setting, you're like supposed to beat everybody till you lose. If you get pushed next, that means you would have lost using the terms of a gauntlet setting. So again, I think in this debating term, it'd be easier to argue what you were previously trying to argue. Is that fine with you?
No. All right. So you like shotgun the shit out of me. Like, I don't want to say shotgun me, but you like went on a bunch of stuff. All right, I try to attack each and every single thing I heard. All right, so the first thing, you like referring to Forco and hype. I'm gonna just say this right now. Forco said, uh, Forco said that I was ratting because you told him and you gave him an example, and I was server muted and I was like kicked off of the stage when that happened, so I couldn't defend myself in that situation. And then hype just said, "Oh no, that would have been ratting." Hype didn't say that it was an actual prerequisite because you would have asked him if I was ratting. And if we're going off of this prerequisite stuff in recollection, BB Reborn even came up and said, "Oh, you didn't say it was a prerequisite." And there was no type of entailment supporting that was a prerequisite in the first place.
So if we're going with like BB as a thing, it's impossible for you to prove that BB was there the whole time. That's why I asked Forco, right? To like
Hold up, wait, guys, real quick. I feel like almost everything y'all are saying, I do not know like the context of. I don't even like. I
it's
can't
fine. It's fine.
validate who was there, who wasn't there. So I'm kind of just
I'm-
lost. I
we're
don't even
gonna
know what
get
y'all are. I don't even know what
we're gonna-
y'all are talking about. So
It's fine. We're gonna like explain into that. It's fine. We're gonna explain that. So
Okay.
it's impossible for you to prove that BB was there. It's like hard for you to prove that, right? Because again, I could just show you multiple scans. Again, the BB just don't like me. I got scans of BB saying, "Oh, I don't like Deadboy," so I could just invalidate him. That could just be him just coming here to just support you, just to support you. He could have easily just got this knowledge from previously, then like joining the VC after that. So the only reason why I asked Forco, because I'm not sure if you remember, Forco was the one that pulled you up and me up in VC at that time. That's why I asked him. And what Forco says, he was like, yes, he repeated what I said, and he said, yes, that would be a prerequisite. Then I explained why I thought he was ratting. And Forco says, why are you defending this? Yes, he's ratting. I'm not, only thing I'm going with right now is that Forco is admitting that it was a prerequisite. I don't give a fuck if Forco said that you was ratting and shit like that. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. I'm saying BB is not a reliable source, and the only source that I think is reliable, because hype, even though I even brought hype to the equation, hype doesn't have to be a reliable source. Because I'm not sure if you remember correctly, hype was not there the whole time. Do you accept that? The hype was not there the whole time. He even says that.
Sure, but Forco
Yeah.
wasn't there the whole time either. Forco had left
Yes,
the
he,
VC.
oh, hold on. Hold on. That's fine. Not the whole time, but Forco was there when I first gave the prerequisite. This is the only point that goes on to that. I don't give a fuck if Forco.
I don't remember Forco saying
yeah.
that like you gave a prerequisite. I remember
Yeah,
Forco telling me I was ratting.
But
And then
yeah,
I tried to
yeah, hold on.
elaborate on why, and then I got server muted and
Hold
kicked
on.
down.
So do you not? Okay, so this is fine. That again, if you like want to lie, right? Do you not remember
No.
me asking Forco to repeat what I said before I invited anybody to come up here? Forco
No.
directly says, quote, he repeats exactly what I said. He was like, yeah, Deadboy did say that. Yeah, that's fine. And he's agreeing for what I said. And what I was implying that was that it was a prerequisite. So in him inherently agreeing to that's what I said, yes, we're going to go under that context. Then I explained to him what happened, right? If he would have broke the prerequisite. He says, yes, he's ratting. But then y'all, right? The only person that had a problem with that would have been BB. But everybody else, without trying to defend you, was saying that Deadboy did not like explain what ratting would be. That was the whole thing. The only person that would have said it wasn't a prerequisite at all is BB. And I'm trying to tell you, it's impossible for you to prove that BB was there the whole time. From the jump, right? When I can easily prove what Forco was there from the jump because Forco repeated back to me what I said. Actually, BB tried to go off of Forco's words because he said, well, Forco said you said. That's exactly how BB came off there. He never actually was there the whole time. And again, BB's not a valid source because he does not like me. So it doesn't matter what he says.
I disagree with that. Just because he doesn't like you doesn't mean he's not a valid source whatsoever.
Yeah, do you know what passive biasness is?
Yeah.
What explain that what is? Explain that.
Just means that they hold a I wouldn't say a grudge against you, but they're against you in general. But you can't really prove that intention.
Hold on, I'll explain what hold on.
BB.
I'll just send a definition to it. Right here. So a passive bias in this instance, right? There's like examples of it, but I just sent the definition of it. even though BB may not be aware that he's being biased, right? He can still be passively biased because, again, don't lie. We don't got time to go over this rat shit. If you just walk downstairs, right, and then you see your mom is getting about to get into a fight with this other lady, right, or a man or shit like that. No matter what the context is, due to your passive bias towards your mom, you're not going to say, "Stop! What happened?" You're going to help your mom out because she's about to get into a fight, or not even a fight, because you're going to say this analogy because
I
into a
disagree.
fight. Let's say even an argument. You're going to support your mom because no matter what, right or wrong, that is still that woman that gave you birth. That's what passive.
I disagree.
So
Heard me?
I would say passive bias. Oh, well, I'll elaborate why he used passive bias in this instance.
Let him
So,
explain why
Like,
he
I'm
disagrees.
disagreeing with that
because he
analogy at the
disagreed.
moment.
okay,
Yeah, let him explain
I'm disagreeing with that analogy.
what?
Like, I disagree with that analogy.
All right, elaborate why the analogy just be wrong. It's okay to just disagree with it, but you can elaborate why it's wrong. I don't care. You're supposed to disagree. You're debating me. So just tell me why the analogy is wrong.
I'm on the negative. I don't really have to elaborate.
All right. So if you just told me that you don't have to elaborate with what I just analogized was wrong, then I'm just going to assume that it's right because you cannot give an actual valid refutation.
That's not how
You
a
saying,
positive
hold on,
claim works. I'm on the negative.
hold on. You saying, okay, so if you're in the negative, disprove what I just said. If you cannot do
I
that,
don't think you understand how a negative claim works.
all right, I don't think you know how to understand how debating works. I'm making an analogy.
Wait, hold up. I think y'all are kind of arguing different things. So Mochi's just saying that, I guess he's kind of like saying that like you haven't provided any evidence to support your claim. But Deadboy's saying like his analogy is his evidence, and you have to attack his evidence.
Yeah, and I was going to elaborate on that too. I was saying in that same instance, using like the logic from my analogy, a passive biasness would be implied here, right? Let's say right. Are you doing you and BB have any relation? Like, are y'all? Do you join
No,
VC? He says what's up to you.
not at all.
Okay, that's
Not
fine.
at all.
That's even better, right? So I think passive biasness, since you're not going to attack my analogy, will work perfectly here because the same way how your mom, no matter what, you're going to defend her. I'm his enemy, and no matter what, they're going to go against me. BB and never has ever given me any type of good wording, nothing, none of that. As soon as we get in VC, it's always Deadboy, you a bitch, this, that, and the third. I can go to different servers and shit like that to show you, just look at my name and just show you him and Orieme just talking shit about me because that's just how they feel about me and shit like that.
That's
right?
good.
Passive bias works in this instance because no matter what, it's always going to be fuck Deadboy. That's why he was supporting you. I'm trying to tell you, if it was anybody else, he would have not cared enough to try to come support you in that instance. It's only because it's me, right? Even mid debate with somebody else, I think it was Archie or somebody else. He just joined. He says Deadboy L and shit like that. That's why I think passive biasness works in this example because he's no matter what, he's gonna find a way to disagree with me just cause I'm Deadboy. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if you're not going to attack my analogy, that's fine.
I already told you I'm on a negative upon that analogy. I'm stating the non-existence of it. Okay? So I don't have to provide justification behind why I disagree with your analogy. I could just tell you no. The second thing is,
Yeah.
if you're going to argue from intent, I want you to go ahead and like prove that this intention is more of like traditional in this situation. So like prove that BB doesn't like you. Prove BB is more like, oh, Deadboy's debating. Oh, fuck Deadboy. I'm gonna vote for this other
Okay.
person.
Yeah.
Provide me
So,
some
instead of you
instances.
just using big words,
Hold
only
up.
have
No, hold up.
Not really using big words.
Mochi, wait, Mochi. So,
Wow.
you're saying that like, you don't have to attack it because he hasn't even like proven that BB has passive bias, or you're saying he hasn't proven the analogy.
I'm saying like kind of the first thing. Like so like for example, all right, you say Goku has a Kamehameha. I tell you no. I'm on the negative. He hasn't provided justification behind that. So now my claim stands and his claim doesn't
Yeah, I know
follow
how.
through.
I know how negative
Yeah.
claim works, but I'm saying like, his claim that he's making is BB has passive bias, and then so you're asking him to prove that, right? Not the analogy. 'Cause you
Not
can't really
really
prove an
asking him to prove
analogy.
it. It's like not really asking him to prove it. It's more of a burden.
Okay, same thing. Like you can ask him. You're saying his burden. It's the same. It serves the same purpose.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Deadboy, I think you need to prove it before using the analogy. I think he gets what it means. He just needs you to prove that BB has it.
That BB doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go on the server that BB's in.
That's kind of where you're going towards, right, Mochi?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Right here. Let me go look to right here. Right here. I'm just screenshotting stuff. It's gonna take me a little minute. I'm just screenshotting stuff. And I'll get some more shit. What other server BB's in? He got banned from Pinnacle. But I don't even have to use that stuff. I think this is all I would need. If I really truly need to get more proof later on, I would. So right here. And do you know what negative and positive connotations are?
Go ahead and elaborate for me.
Okay. Essentially, I'm not sure like you never learned this or not. Happy is usually a positive connotation. Angry as a negative connotation. Sex is usually a positive connotation. Violence is usually a negative connotation. Are you understanding now?
Sure.
Okay. Bullying, cyberbullying is a negative connotation, right?
I
This
disagree.
would be, yeah, I think it is. So right here, randomly, BB says, buddy took.
Let him explain why he disagrees.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So pretty much, I believe like the bullying thing. Most of the time, it's in it's more of in a joking sense. Like in
All
the
right.
situation
Yeah,
with
prove
BB.
that.
All right, sure.
Prove that.
So
Joking.
in scans,
In a joking sense, like you're saying in a joking sense where he actually just
I'm
thinks
saying
he's
I'm saying in like a sense to where he's like not actually trying to cause harm to you mentally and verbally.
bro.
Because
Okay.
like if we look in the scan I sent, I asked BB if he likes you, and he said yeah, he cool.
Hey, he got you there.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He kind of
Fine.
got you there, Deadboy. Oh my
But, like
god.
off of this entirely,
BB,
I
Why
believe
did you
that
just said that earlier, bro? That's funny as fuck.
that's fine. So essentially what I would just say, right, is that there's things that I cannot prove. So I'm just gonna go off stuff that I've personally encountered in the past and stuff that I know which is true, right?
what if
So
Dead
I
Boy's
would
a
hold on,
change.
so I would make an argument right now that's based off assumptions, but I would give it further more proof to you. So essentially what I would say is, I'm not saying this is definitively true, that this is a possibility, that you texted BB, told him to say, hey, say that Deadboy's cool, I'm debating him real quick, right? And then y'all did that, deleted the messages, then you sent that shit, then y'all did that. That's what I would say, right? Because based off
What are
Yeah, he
these
messaged WhatsApp.
accusations?
hold on. Or I could even
If you're not in the
say,
debate, mute.
or I could even say that recently his views on me changed. It doesn't matter. What I would just argue from back then, other than today, I would just say he didn't like me. Again, let me give more furthermore to my proof. He sends my facial picture around, right? Then we see people in the shit right here. Just have to wait for it to happen. BB versus Deadboy boxing match. They're saying that because we're obviously beefing a lot. Even Pound Town says right here, he's probably hooping right now. Stop disturbing him. Disturb is a negative connotation. He's disturbing me when I'm not even in VC. So I can
I
understand if you're.
disagree.
Hold on. I can understand if we're in a joking manner, right?
You cut out.
He was kind of gooning for Deadboy that one day. I do remember that.
Well, Dead Boy, since you're like cut out entirely, I'll just go ahead. Pretty much, I'm saying like you shouldn't really argue from past experiences, as what you're doing is that's appealing to tradition. First of all, second of all,
Huh.
I'm saying that
Hold
during
on,
this
hold on.
debate,
Hold on.
BB
My
would have been
fault.
a
This bitch had
changed
called me. So
man.
I don't know what happened in the last 10 seconds or 20 seconds. So
I
I was
just
gonna
said that all I said was that you shouldn't argue from past instances because it would be more of like an appeal to tradition instead of
what?
you actually providing a
Aki.
consistency.
Aki, that doesn't matter at all. But like again, I think you're just
Yes, it
hold
does.
on,
It's
Aki, I
fallacious.
think you're just stringing words together to try to form a coherent argument, but it just doesn't make it coherent at all. I
I'll
think
send
the
you the
most coherent
definition if
thing
you
to
want me
say
to.
is I gave you two like interpretations, right? From what you sent me. One, you just texted him, you did the text delete shit, or two, his views on me changed. I sent a scan from the past, and obviously what the fuck we did, right, was what had happened in the past, right? So what I'm saying would happen in the past due to my knowledge, BB does not like me, right? He sent my picture around and is bullying, right? I wasn't even in VC. So usually when you joke around with somebody, right, you usually, right, to their face, talking about them, just joking around like, oh, nigga, you a bitch. This, that, and the third. But this nigga Pound even says he's disturbing me. So most people were sending my face shit, right? With other people. So along with sendings, which I can prove to you who doesn't like me. Also, Monlem, I could prove to you doesn't like me. And other people I could prove to you doesn't like me. So he was along with them in a little hating group talking about me a lot. So
Do you have
again,
proof of that group?
you said what?
Do you have proof of
Hey,
that
Pound
group and
Town.
stuff? What?
I got you. I'll
Pound
just
Town.
send that.
What?
Can I follow a fallacy on him real quick?
What fallacy?
Texas sharpshooter.
Sure. I forgot what that one is.
All right. So it's like pretty much saying, let's say, like, we look in this scan, right? Let's say we look inside of a scan, okay? It says John Cena is a black man. And they look at like a bunch of these instances where John Cena has similarities to a black man instead of addressing the actual differences between it. So I'm saying like Deadboy's committing that fallacy. As I've already showed him like a instance as to where this statement or these claims that he's making gets contradicted entirely by like the person he's arguing about in general. And he's like,
Okay.
instead of actually addressing that, he keeps like he's ignoring it and he's providing more similarities and saying, since I hold a greater consistency of these similarities, my argument would stand. I'm saying like
So I
he's
will
failing to
argue.
address this one claim that
So that would
announces this
hold on.
entire argument. It's just a Texas sharpshooter.
Hold on. So that would be true if I didn't give rebuttal to what the fuck you sent me, right? I gave you two different possibilities, and I'm fulfilling why those possibilities would make sense. I'm giving you a preponderance of evidence. I
I
can even
didn't hear that.
go on other servers to prove this. I'm not sure if you know in a debating dialectic, a preponderance of evidence is to show that this is more likely this is the more likelihood, like more than a 50% chance, because I'm giving you more evidence to support the two possibilities I sent you. Where you only sent me this one thing, which I'm saying it could be fake, or he could have changed his views. What I'm saying is we're speaking about the past, right? You sent me scan as present. Based off the past, which we're debating upon, BB at that time does not like me. That at all is not a Texas sharpshooter, because you could send me something now that maybe contradicts it, but there's no contradiction. That's very linear. That's linear time. I may not like you at 5 o'clock, but I can like you at 7 o'clock. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with what I just said at all. So
All right. So I believe like this didn't denounce my argument whatsoever. I already told you that you like appealing to the past would be an appeal to tradition. You never attacked that whatsoever.
I
And
didn't
when you
hear
brought
you.
up these little things,
I just saw you. Hold on. Let me attack. Hold on. Let me attack. You just posted
Let
it.
me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
When you were like, when you said you proved all these things to be false, I literally didn't hear you at all.
Well,
I'm being dead ass with that.
Well, hold on. Well, Aki, you just sent the appeal to tradition and you called it out, but you like didn't elaborate, and that's why I didn't say nothing about it. So that's probably why I didn't hear
I did
you either.
elaborate on it.
Or elaborate why is appeal to a tradition.
All right. I told you it would be an appeal to tradition because what you're doing is you're providing a bunch of past instances, and you're saying that it's more traditional for BB to dislike you, even though I've already shown you a scan of BB saying that like,
I
oh
never
yeah,
said. Hold on. That's a
Deadboy's
straw man.
cool.
That's a straw man. I'm not
It's
saying
not a
more
straw man. It's a
Hold
straw
on.
man.
Hold on. I'm not saying it's more traditional. I'm saying in the past he didn't like me. Now there's two possibilities that he could like me now, and that or this shit is fake. I never made a bold statement claim. The only bold claim that I made was that BB in the past didn't like me, and that's what I'm trying to prove. So
Yeah.
you can attack the shit now. I'm not making a present tense claim, right? I'm not appealing to any tradition, right? All I'm saying is, right, I'm making a valid argument. He didn't like me in the past, and I'm pretty sure I approve that. Again, bullying is a negative connotation, right? I was getting bullied when I was not there to defend myself. I think the only way where bullying is a positive connotation where the person can joke around back with them, right? I'm getting bullied, right? And then somebody had to tell him to stop disturbing me. You know what disturb means?
I
Wait,
believe like
Deadboy.
when you disturb something,
Deadboy.
I believe when you disturb something, like all that's happening is you're just like moving it out of place.
Deadboy, what he's saying is that it's a appeal to tradition, not because like you're trying to apply it to right now, but you're trying to apply past instances to that moment still, which would still
Thank
like
you.
What?
under his like what he's trying to say an appeal to tradition is would be correct. I mean, you haven't really rebutted that part.
All right, what is it? So what is he trying to say the pill tradition is? Maybe I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, he's just saying what it is. That's about it.
What is
He's
it?
just
Like,
saying
well, pound
what
elaborate that to me, because
the
maybe you can make it
definition.
more sense to me.
It's just the definition that he sent.
Okay.
So he's
Is an argument in which a thesis is deemed correct on the basis of correlation with past or present tradition. Or what about that?
I'm saying that what you're doing is instead of like addressing the instances that are happening at the moment, you're bringing up a bunch of these past instances.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I told you already
yeah.
that BB could have been a changed man, and BB most
All right.
likely is a changed man.
All right. So
Oh,
that's
no, you
all
just
right. So you
roll.
heard he just said, or Pound, you heard he just said?
What?
Pound, you heard he just said that BB could be a changed man or is a changed man?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear did you fully hear my argument, Pound?
Yeah, I heard it.
All right. So if you heard it, then you would probably understand why I won this point based off what Aki just said and based off what.
I think you're gonna need to explain because I mean, I get where you're getting at, but you haven't
okay.
actually explained it, so I'm not just
All
gonna
right.
give you the point because I.
Deadboy,
Okay,
can you like not take that statement?
Hold on.
after
So
later?
basically, he's saying that I'm fucking deeming something as correct based off something that's from the past. Is that what he's trying to say?
He's saying no. He's saying that you're using consistency from the past to prove something, not in the present, but at the moment where BB was making the statement about y'all's debate.
Oh, is that what he's trying to say?
He's not talking about current present tense. He's talking about that moment because he's attacking y'all. Y'all are talking about that moment's credibility or BB's credibility at that moment.
I initially started off my argument by saying sometime in the past BB disliked me. That's fine. And again, this point could be relevant because he didn't refute what I said earlier. And I'll explain that in conclusion. So I think this point, like I think I still won this point, but this does not matter at all to what I said earlier. So you hear me?
What?
You hear me? You hear what I said? I said that I don't have to like. I'm saying like I think from something I already said earlier, it just like this whole point would just make this whole point irrelevant.
So, do you want to conclude on this point, or do you want to just like?
We can conclude like on like everything that happened up until now. Then we continue on to the other points because if I say what I said, then he'll understand like why you'll understand why.
I don't want to conclude on everything up until now. I didn't get to address a bunch of things yet.
Well, basically, I'm saying I've already won this point technically based off something I previously said. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can you like elaborate?
Yeah, I'll elaborate that on conclusions. So I can include that.
And
in
I'll
this
dismiss that. Okay.
I can include that in this
I'm
point.
gonna address the other. Well, actually, Pound Town. Who do you think won the appeal to tradition point?
No, hold on. Can I say can I give my conclusions to why I think it
I'm
doesn't
not
matter?
going to conclusions yet. I told you I don't want to go to conclusions yet.
All
There's
right,
a
so why
bunch
would you
of
just
things I
ask
didn't get
him
to
who
address.
do you think wins if that's something that
On
is
this
supposed to have
point,
to come
on
to a
this
general
singular point,
consensus?
you said
hear both of y'all's-
everything leading up to this, which
What?
would include like the entirety of the point or the
Are we
entirety of the
talking
debate
about?
up to this moment.
Well,
I'm saying I want to conclude on this point itself, like appeal to tradition.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Pound, what I'm saying
Hey,
is,
well, y'all can both give your conclusions on that.
yeah, Pound. But I'm saying there's something I've already said earlier that supports this point, like supports me on this point. So can I bring that up?
If you've already
Thinking
said it,
that-
yes. If you've already said it, yes.
All right. You can go ahead, Aki.
All right. Pretty much the reason I believe Deadboy committed an appeal to tradition is off of the sole purpose of him providing a bunch of past instances in order to quote unquote negate the ones that are happening at the moment. I had told Deadboy that BB said he's cool and Deadboy's cool in general. And instead of like actually addressing that claim, he decided to argue off of a possibility which he couldn't prove to be an actuality. And then once I told him it was an appeal to tradition, he couldn't actually tell me why. So yeah, overall, I think I just won this.
Okay. I'm looking like this point.
Yes, ma'am.
This point was to prove if BB was a valid source due to biasness or like any other factors. So right before we went into this like whole fallacy thing, there was something I said 2 to 3 times that went uncontested. I said multiple times, you cannot prove that BB was there from the start to be a valid source to help you out later on in the debate, and later on in the debate that was said. I actually said BB used his argument to help him out off of what Forco, a person said the person that was there the whole time, said. So I'm saying whatever BB is saying is invalid because he wasn't even there from the jump to hear what was argued nor said.
Wait,
so
was Forco there the whole time? I thought.
No, I took exactly. He
hold
wasn't
on,
there. I took the anti.
Oh,
wait. Okay. Because this is the way I remember how it went. Because Deadboy said that thing. He said that BB wasn't there the whole time, and then Mochi was like, "Well," and then Deadboy said Forco was, and then Mochi was like, "Forco wasn't there the whole time either." So I don't.
I said Forco was at the beginning.
That's what I remember.
Hold on, I said Forco was at the beginning. My fault. I messed it up. Forco was at the beginning. I'm saying BB was not there the whole time, and you cannot prove when BB entered it. We actually don't know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. Like you don't literally know. It's impossible for him to prove that BB was there the whole time. I'm saying it makes more sense with like that BB would have entered later on from the start of the debate, which I said like in the debate itself, but Aki had just now, because BB worded his argument off of what Forco, the person I was at the beginning of the debate, which we're debating upon, said, and he just reworded what Forco said to try to help Aki out. So I'm saying BB wasn't even there from the jump. So I'm saying if BB wasn't there from the jump, he's not like a valid source to can like say for an instance what exactly happened, because he's just rewording what Forco said to make an argument. That's basically that's why we went through this whole derail to even prove if BB was a valid source.
Deadboy, I want to say this right now. I think what you're saying is pretty redundant. I already specified that I wanted to conclude on the point of the appeal to tradition. I don't know why you brought up all these other points that happened previously.
No, because it's not all these other points. This
wait.
The appeal to tradition.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Okay. So I'm saying that like pretty much we're concluding on the appeal to tradition, not all the points prior to it, because I told you before that I didn't get a chance to address each and every single one of the other points. So I want to conclude on only this point for now. And then you said you have things that happened previously to this, and then after that you went ahead and stated that we're concluding on something entirely different. That's like stupid.
Okay. I'll explain,
I kind of agree with that. I think we should just conclude on the one point that we agreed to conclude on.
Hold on. I'll explain why. I said that I'm saying that's a sub point from the main thing. Hold on.
Advocate of dead boys. I'm kidding.
Unmute. You spurred.
I'm saying that's a sub point from the general point that if BB was a valid source. I'm saying that's a lie. That he just only decided to attack the fact. He's still attacking the point. He's attacking the fact if BB was a valid source or not. He's saying that BB's valid because BB's like not biased, right? That's what he wanted to attack, right?
Well, in that case,
okay,
hold up. In that case, you're essentially just dropping you're saying, because like you said, like the other point didn't matter, so you're just dropping that and rolling with this.
Well, I'm not saying because he never.
I'm so confused.
He never ever contended.
I don't think I know, but I don't think you can use this like. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the sub point. This is only on the sub point.
I'm saying sub point. The sub point doesn't matter if like a main thing of the point, like whole main point is if he was a valid source. That's the main point.
We're not concluding on the main point. So when Mochi says I
Yeah.
agree to conclude, he's not saying I agree to conclude to the main point. So maybe he still wants to attack that.
Yeah, the sub point doesn't. I literally said the sub point doesn't matter if I think I've already won it. I swear to I mean, that's fine.
So you wanted to conclude on the whole point?
Yeah, I wanted to conclude on just like the point that BB was a valid source because this sub point went into a derail because he
Mochi,
was attacking the fact.
Do you think you've won the whole point and want to conclude on it?
He was attacking the fact that BB was a valid source in general, and he attacked those like one of those things. Like I don't know why he attacked the fact that he's just not biased, but I literally said multiple times that BB wasn't even there. So I kept saying like he wasn't there. I said that like 10, actually more than 10 times. And if that's something that's not my fault that he just didn't choose to attack that. That's uncontested. That's my main claim.
I'm back.
Okay, so Mochi, do you want to conclude on the main point and just like not even, dude? What the fuck? Why are people sending dick pics? Fuck out of here!
That's Maya, dude. That's the fucking femboy Archie was messing with, and he sent me that shit.
Can somebody give me perm so I can just delete that, please? Who's
Probably
owner?
not.
Fuck.
But yeah,
These
what were y'all saying?
Discordians.
What were y'all saying? I was here when you were like first addressing Deadboy, and then I said my girlfriend called me.
I said, do you just want to conclude on the main point, or do you have
Because the
contention?
sub point doesn't matter.
Because the sub point doesn't matter, or do you want to contend what Deadboy has been saying? Real quick.
What has he been saying?
That,
like, what do you mean by the main point? Because the point I'm talking about
the point that BB's a valid source.
BB's a valid source.
The Pilda tradition doesn't matter if I don't think that point's relevant. It doesn't matter. You
mean,
cannot
like you cannot deem
argument fallacious if I don't even think that argument would be valid. Like I think we basically wasted time because based off shit. Hold on, Aki. I think we wasted time because based off shit I previously, I think I already won the point.
I disagree. Pretty much, like what you said. What you said was like really stupid at the moment. Like what you just said, like less than 5 seconds ago, was really stupid. Just because you made that argument and you don't believe that argument to be true or relevant anymore, it doesn't mean that argument isn't fallacious any further. Like, let's say I could say
he's dropping it. He's just dropping it. So he's saying like it could be fallacious. It doesn't matter.
I'm saying he's committed a fallacy. That's it. And like then we can move on.
Yeah, it's fine. I can commit a fallacy. That doesn't dismiss what I said earlier.
What did you say earlier?
Did you not hear what I argued 10 times?
Or you said like a bunch of shit. I can't.
The main point about
just restate it. Just restate it.
That there's no way you can prove that BB was there from the beginning.
Oh, why would I have to do that?
To prove that he's a valid source.
I don't see how like him not being here from the beginning denounces him holding any more validity than anybody else in that.
Hold on, I'll explain why. Because he wasn't there from a first-hand account to accurately account what was said or what happened. So he's trying to argue for you about something like some accuracy of things that was said, right? He cannot accurately do that if he was not there. Now, right? You could say he could just hear from an outside source. The outside source he heard from was Forco. Forco agreed with me that I set that prerequisite, but what BB did, he just reworded Forco's words and he tried to help you out. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I'm saying the only reason why Forco would be valid in this instance, because we're talking about the instance at the very beginning of the debate where Forco was there. Forco could have left mid-debate, but we're talking about what happened at the very beginning, which BB, you cannot prove BB was there for. And I could prove Forco was there for because Forco reworded exactly what I argued or said. Because Forco was the one that pulled you up on the stage.
I'm back, bro.
Damn.
You gotta let us know.
I need you to like restart all of that, dude. My girlfriend keeps fucking calling me.
Okay. I'm basically saying BB is not valid. BB's not valid because to account something that was said, I think it makes more sense to actually know what was exactly said to be there. But what I just said wouldn't matter because we know that BB just reworded what Forco said. He said, well, what Forco said was, I don't even think that'd be really a prerequisite based off what Forco said. That he literally says based off what Forco said, So, and we do know that Forco repeated my argument, and Forco agrees that I made a prerequisite. The only reason why I'm calling Forco valid in this instance because he was there at the instance I said what I said. We cannot prove that BB was there. All we know is that BB reworded someone that validated what I said to be the case. We do not like BB's just there again. That's probably why I went to that sub point. That I saying that BB's just arguing just to argue against me, but that's fine. He's just arguing based off what he heard Forco say. But Forco already earlier agreed that it would be a prerequisite. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I believe Forco didn't hear what you said entirely either,
All right,
and he
that's
was going
okay.
off of a he say she say. He say
Okay.
she say.
So again, that's hard for you to prove that he doesn't know what I said. That, again, Aki,
Not necessarily.
yes, it is, Aki. That you're saying
I
stuff.
could go
that,
off of entailment.
Aki, you're saying stuff that it takes impossible proof, right? If I know I said something, right, and I can basically the only person I can really confirm it was me, because I know that's what I said, right? Forco, the person that pulled you up from VC, confirms that's what I said at the beginning of the debate. The only other person that may have a problem with that would be BB. What BB did, he just reworded what Forco said. He said based off what Forco said. So his basis is off of what Forco's saying. Well, Forco,
can we stop like right here? Wait, Deadboy.
What?
Can we stop like right here? Because you're like barraging me with a bunch of shit. I need to attack a bunch of stuff you said already.
Actually, wait, hold up for a
second.
second. Wait, let me speak. Okay, so this has gone on way too long, bro. Y'all, this whole thing is literally just like he said, she said. I don't like this debate, bro. What the fuck, y'all?
No, I'm saying
y'all are both arguing. Y'all are both arguing something you have no proof for. Like both sides. This is so ass.
We're going off the recollection.
Here for Aki
and it's
argue.
Gross. Like
Hold
it's so.
For Aki to argue that I did make that prerequisite because it was stated by Forco. It's just he would just have to argue that I didn't define what ratting was. Like he can. I don't know why he's not doing that.
But
like,
what is the purpose of this?
He beat me.
I beat Deadboy, and
why don't y'all just like fucking redebate?
No. Because I'm saying that he ratted, and I said that if you rat, bro, you're gonna lose, and I'm gonna boot who's like, whatever, like you're gonna get nexted type shit. That's what I'm trying to get at. And he's trying to use
everybody. All right, so Pound Town. I even got like Scoob. Scoob agreed. Like me and Scoob beat Quince up on this. Like I'm saying me and Scoob beat Quince up on this yesterday when Quince had joined the VC and he was trying to vouch for you. He's like, no, you didn't beat Deadboy Aki. And then Quince even elaborated. He said Deadboy said this quote unquote prerequisite. Okay, now. At this point, I just still man that. Wait. At this point,
fine and dandy. Hold on, Aki.
Wait.
This is like the last thing I'm gonna listen to because I'm fucking.
Hold on. No, Pound. We still have more points. I'm saying, like, come on, bro.
Deadboy, wait a second.
Dude, I told you. I said I'm gonna give this like an hour and then I'm leaving because I'd like.
All right. So Aki, I'm saying
nowhere.
Let me finish.
I'm saying
let me finish
if
first.
a prerequisite was made.
Let me finish first. Okay. So. Like I said, I pretty much still man that little prerequisite thing. Me and Scoop just still man that entirely. And then we went on to argue with Quince. Quince even agreed you didn't give justification behind me, quote unquote, ratting. So I said, like in the debate, when you said I'm ratting and I told you to prove it, you said I don't have to do it. I said, okay, I'll dismiss it. You didn't attack that whatsoever. And then after you failed to attack that, you tried to refer back to that.
Hold up. All this is you telling me, you recalling events that have happened, and I can't validate if what you're saying is true or not. I can't validate if what Deadboy is saying is true or not. And y'all don't have any opposing evidence that anything is true or anything is false. So
can be irrelevant if he just agreed that, as he literally said, he agreed before that the prerequisite was made. I don't know why he's making this.
I just told you it was a still man.
All right, so why don't you just still man that now? And if you honestly do believe that I never justified what ratting was, then we can like just debate that, because that's the only thing Pound can judge. I'm saying he cannot judge if a prerequisite was made, like obviously, because even then, that's what I'm saying, Aki, even back then you were arguing that I never made justification, so just argue the same thing.
Here's what it comes down to. Y'all are both. It's gonna come down to who just makes a more convincing argument to me. And I'm not gonna lie, it's probably gonna, like, if it comes down to that, it's probably gonna be Deadboy, because me and Deadboy have been friends for like a year and a half. Like, that's really just how it's gonna be, and that's stupid. I don't I don't want to judge like that. I want to judge like actually on like evidence and shit, and not just like who's the he said she said bullshit.
Then whatever.
Just it's
Union.
like it ain't that deep. Y'all can literally just like redebate.
Nah,
Just redebate with different judges.
Union, if you want to, you could go ahead and just send me the recording, Union.
Go ahead. Yeah, Pound. I was gonna say
I'll
like
post it and I'll let people judge it. It doesn't
prerequisite.
matter to me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if we agree to the prerequisite, then like I was just gonna say if I
This
made
debate
the
is
prerequisite,
dry.
I would know myself what ratting would be. So I can literally define it as anything. You're the one that agreed to it by like coming up here and
Oh,
debating me. I don't have to
define
like
that
That's a
anything.
fallacy of
It's like a
composition, young
dismiss
man.
fallacy.
Wait a minute. But yeah, Deadboy, that's a fallacy of composition.
Also a
fallacy
dismiss
composition.
fallacy, bro.
I don't think fallacies can be applied with fucking
You don't believe
prerequisites,
fallacy?
not in debate. I don't think
so. I
can be
think
applied.
so.
Yeah, I don't think fallacies can be applied like not in a debate. Like all logical fallacies literally just like the forms of logic when there's like an argument happening, right? There's
Are
no
we not
argument.
arguing
There's
right
no
now, Deadboy?
argument being made within like certain thoughts. Like you cannot tell me how exactly I justify what ratting is. Essentially, if I
Logic
made it,
only pertain to arguments, though.
you said what?
Is this outside of the debate?
Yeah,
Are we still
No,
debating?
I don't.
Okay,
outside
good.
of it.
Yeah, logic exists outside of debating, bro.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I don't know why you said it doesn't.
Nigga, I'm saying in terms of like
You cut out.
Oh, I know what he means. Bro, he's basically just calling you a nerd. Like, but like Deadboy was literally just like saying something, and you're like calling it a fallacy. Like outside of a debate, he's saying
all right,
like,
hold on.
why are you doing that?
I'm saying like
I get what
outside.
you
I'm saying like outside of the debate. Like I don't think you can just call fallacies on people outside of debates.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
it is kind of lame, bro. Like in a regular
Yeah, I
ass
believe you.
conversation, just be like,
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what
yeah,
I was applying. I was
pretty
like,
let's appeal to
sure.
tradition. Like, motherfucker, what?
no, like I'm saying like it was. I was like
Very.
outside of the debate, bro. Like I'm saying that if I made the prerequisite,
He
only
was
I would
trolling,
know
bro.
what I would justify it as. So no matter what, you still agreed. You still
Then
came up here knowing that I made something.
Then that's
So-
a genetic fallacy.
I think he
You
was
said
just
what?
trolling with the fallacy thing. I don't know. He could.
I'm
just
not
be
even going with the
serious.
fallacy. I'm just committing all these fallacies. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I don't.
not fallacious. That's not fallacious at all.
A genetic fallacy isn't fallacious?
All right, explain what a genetic
What?
fallacy is,
Here, I'll send it to you.
man. I want you to
It's
elaborate.
pretty much
so
it's pretty
dry.
much basing the truth or the value of a claim off of like where it came from. You keep going back and referring to this claim saying, "Oh, if this claim is this, it would be true because it came from me. I'm the one
I
who
never
made this
said that.
prerequisite."
Yeah. Well, obviously, this
It's
wouldn't work.
paraphrasing.
Oh, hold on. A lot of these fallacies like don't work because that's not an impede in logic. If someone has a certain set rules, only they would know the rules they set unless they made the rules public. Is that like does that not make sense to you?
No.
Does that
Just-
Pound? Does that make sense to you? If someone has
No.
rules in their house and you walk inside their house, you wouldn't know what the rules were unless they were explained to you. Correct?
I would.
Thank you.
Big-
Troll.
I'm
Was that a dumb analogy, bro? Do you understand that
No,
analogy?
Yes, it was dumb.
that kind of makes sense, I guess. But
Okay, I'm okay. Better way to try to explain it, bro.
you're saying like you have your own, like you set your own prerequisites in your mind. Type
No, I
shit.
never said that. No, I said
Oh.
I said a prerequisite out loud. I said no writing and shit like that. But what I
Oh,
think
but you're saying yeah, your standard for ratting is your own. Oh no, yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah. I get
thank
what
you.
mean.
Like what? So he
I get what you
accepted
mean.
a debate not knowing
Wait.
what my standards was. So I'm saying
Mochi, he's just saying that like when he says no ratting, he can pretty much, as ironic as it is, rat and say that whatever anybody says is ratting because it's his own standard of what ratting
yeah,
is.
like I said, that's a
That's the
genetic
dismiss
fallacy.
fallacy.
Oh my
Literally
God.
the same thing, but still.
Oh my God.
wait, why wouldn't be, bro?
All right, a definance
Oh.
fallacy is pretty much like changing a definition in a way that it would support you. And the
Yeah,
genetic
proof
fallacy is
I
like what I
changed the
started.
definition of way where it support me.
I could go off of entailment.
entailment is very subjective. I can entail that you're
This is where
a white
debate is
man. It's like weird. Like entailment is not an argument. Intuitiveness is not an argument. I could just say intuitively, I think you're ratting, so that means you lose. Like a lot of these arguments don't work.
no
Like
justification.
what?
What?
I'm
I'm
not
telling
so
you
who
right
gave you
now
the entailment
that
shit?
wait. I'm saying that me using entailment, I'm going to give justification behind that. I'm saying it's entailed, right? It's implied that when you go ahead and say, oh, it's my definition, so it's whatever I want it to be. That's quite literally the finest or genetic fallacy. Like I
That's
said, they're
not.
pretty
Hold on.
much the same
That's
thing.
not.
I could go off of
That's
entailment
not
here
true.
because
That's
what you
not
decided
true.
to do.
I'm
Wait,
saying that.
don't cut
Hold
me
on.
off. Don't cut me off. Deadboy, don't cut me off.
You just
Instead
said
of
what you
like,
had to say. You just said what
Deadboy,
you
don't
had to
cut me off.
say.
So pretty much, instead of like you actually giving justification and good justification and reasoning behind why I did such a thing, you refer back to yourself, which is an appeal to authority. You refer back to yourself and say, oh, it's ratting because I'm the one who set this quote unquote prerequisite and everything within it. So I don't
Okay.
have to announce it, but if I think it's ratting, then it's ratting. That's quite literally what
Okay.
you said during our first
And
debate.
hold on.
And then
And
in
what?
this
Okay.
debate, you're
Yes.
referring back to
Hold on.
yourself,
Well, wait.
saying that that my
Hold on.
justification
Let me
behind this.
say what I gotta say.
Wait, was
Yeah.
his prerequisite if it's ratting or if I think it's ratting?
If he thinks it's ratting. No, if he's ratting.
okay.
If it's ratting, not if he thinks.
Yeah, you say how you just try to sift it to him, right?
Okay,
What?
okay.
We can ask everybody that was there. You
I just
didn't
want
say
a
if he thinks.
definite like was it if because here's the thing. If he said if he thinks it's ratting, then Deadboy is like very correct. But if it is ratting, then Mochi's right. So I don't care, but that
He said
And
if it
there's
is
no way to
ratting.
prove
I
what
can
we
even
need to
ask
prove.
Porco. Actually,
Hold
I'll
on.
ask Porco right now. If he's
I don't
on.
give a man. Go ahead and ask
God.
people. It doesn't like matter. There's no. We're not recording. I'm just
I
gonna say
mean,
this.
if
God
we could
damn,
gain
that
a
was a good one.
consistency,
Y'all hear
then
that? Y'all hear that? Fuck.
I'm gonna say it does not give me a recording. But
I'm saying
Pound.
if we could gain a consistency, then like we could go
No,
ahead and
no, I don't
abide by
think
that.
so. I can get 5 people to do the same shit too.
All
It's
right,
not
prove those people were in there.
a lot of these yeah, I can get 5 people that was in there saying the same shit. It's not that
Okay.
hard. I want to be that hard to do so. Like,
Okay.
Pound, you see how hard he's trying to
If
go
I
with the
could
proof
go
that he
ahead and
beat
get a
me.
bunch of
Pound,
people to come to
let
a
me
general
explain to you actually what
consensus
happened in
upon
the debate. Tell
something,
me,
then I'll just
tell
go
me
ahead
what
and
you
say
think
I
this is.
won it.
Hold on, Pound. Tell me what you think this is, bro. Basically, we were debating, right? And I was like laying into a point, and I know he couldn't prove it. I said, proven fiction and shit like that, right? Or I was implying my fiction. I mean, like your verse that a 2-dimensional being can interact with a 3-dimensional being. So I'm thinking he's gonna send a scan within his verse, that a 2-dimensional entity can interact with a 3-dimensional. You know what he does, Pound? This nigga goes to his notes. He says
I got
like
the scan too,
Gary.
boy.
He says Gary, I'm 2D. He
Yep,
says
I got the
Bill,
scan
I'm
for you.
3D. Then he says Gary interacts with Bill. You don't think that's ratting, Pound?
That's so rad, but that's funny.
Thank
That's
you. Like, and
looking
after
general.
that,
I mean, looking
hold on.
scans.
And listen. And when
I'm
I
the
said
same.
I don't want to, and when I said I don't want to debate this shit, at he like uses. Hold on, he uses this as
You're
in
a
like
fucking rat, bro.
word.
I
He
don't
uses this
care.
as a
I
Like I
mean,
told him. I literally told him before we started I didn't have that many scans on me.
hold on now, and he
That was just
uses
for my
this as
fun.
a feat of skill to put him as being a better.
okay. Let bro.
I haven't been going around saying I beat you like that. Anytime somebody says that, if I debated you, I say,
I'm in
yeah,
a
I
lot of
beat you.
servers. I've seen a lot of servers you just going around saying you beat me, bro. And
Like
you're like
what
saying that you
server?
should be like in the same tiers
Like
as
what
me.
server? Like what server? Because I don't ask for tiers and servers. I don't
I
care
never
about
said you
debating.
asked for tiers, but you was like you should be in the same tier. That's not asking for it. That's just saying that you
Yeah, what
should be.
servers? What servers? Give me
I'll
like
go
a
look
single
at it, but
example.
yeah, you go around saying that you beat me. I'll go look for it. It's fine.
You could try.
But yeah, pound
Look,
looking
I'll tell you this right now. If
stand.
it's Seraph,
Hold on.
everybody in Seraph, you could ask Orihime, you could ask Limitless, you could ask a bunch of people.
Asking or
They're instigators. Okay, they're instigators. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing.
Oh, debating this. Oh my god.
But that's not the whole point.
Fuck is Quince on? Nigga
But
said I'm
Pound,
lying in his name for
do
views.
you think that's an entailment and skill? What he just did, like in terms of the debate? You think
Bro,
that's
he
skill?
doesn't need to
Like
use
he beat me with
skill.
using his debating skill?
Oh my
Wait,
god,
what'd you say?
debating skill.
You think
bro.
that like makes
Shut
him
the
a better
fuck
debater
up.
than
Hey,
me?
wait. Whoever's mocking him, bro, you're 100% a debate goon and you stay on Discord. Shut the fuck up. Okay,
Shut
Deadboy,
the
keep on
fuck
going.
up, Pound
Yeah.
Town
So I'm
Oh my
bitch
saying-
ass
god,
boy.
you're
The
retarded as
dumbest
fuck. Shut
retard
up, bitch. You
here.
stay on Discord
Wait a
all day,
second,
bro. You
bro.
have no
Shut
life.
up, you
You've
little
never
cunt
touched a
ass
female,
faggot.
bitch.
Nobody's talking
So
to
do you
you,
think this is
stupid
good?
fat
120.
bitch.
Yo,
Except for Mochi, I know he has a girlfriend. He's
That's
still
why
a
you're
nerd,
still
though.
requiring to speak to me, fat
What'd you say,
ass.
do you
Deadboy?
think this is
Stupid
do you think this is a
dumb
good
piece of
intelligence to
shit.
show that someone's a better debater than
Retarded
somebody from what happened in
CEO.
that debate?
Oh, absolutely not.
What?
However, I
That's
did.
what-
I
How
do
much
think it
debate
is
skill
funny,
that you
but
use.
no,
Funny.
no,
like,
but that is not like. Yeah, I mean,
I'm so stupid.
at the end of the day, though, Deadboy, what I've learned is with these little troll ass motherfuckers, you just gotta take it with a grain of
Didn't
salt.
you
bro,
lose a
because they
Sweezy? Why are you
all
calling
finna,
people
like,
trolls?
Oh
Did you
my
not lose a
God.
Sweezy, you troll? Why are you talking? Why are you
Bro,
talking?
I'm
Like,
not, I ain't gonna say I learned my lesson, but
You just gotta laugh, cause hey, at least like with this guy, like that's like funny. Like he actually like
Yo,
did something
debate
funny.
yeah,
over?
I would do the same thing if
You
I
got these
lost to
motherfuckers like
Power
this.
Down.
Oh my god,
Yo,
Rico,
Wait,
please.
is the
guy,
debate
he's
over?
a
Fucking
fucking
irritating me.
goon.
Before I
I'm about to
get
call
loud.
this.
No,
This
they're
is
still
more-
complaining about their life
My
lesson,
God, I
bro.
took my next Sweezy, but
Bruh, that's
Okay.
you got raped.
Okay. Mochi, I'll catch you later, man. I really tried to judge that, but it was just really
No, you
ass.
didn't.
But you definitely. By the way, you definitely did win that fucking 1 point, that retard point where y'all are talking about the tradition.